Hello everyone, welcome to you all. So in this session, we are going to discuss about what is white box testing in software testing. So in my previous video, I have already discussed about what is black box testing in software testing. So if you guys have still not seen my video, so I would recommend you to please see my last video, that is black box testing video, then come to this video. Otherwise, in this video description I will give that black box testing video link, so guys you can please check out from there also. Now coming to our today's main topic, that is what is white box testing in software testing. So in white box testing, so basically whenever any developer is developing any software, so what would be the ultimate goal? So the ultimate goal for any software developer is to that the whatever or which application he is going to design or he is going to develop, that application should have high performance, should have a security, or we can say that any user can easily use that application. So that is the main aim of any software developer, right? So so to achieve this purpose or to achieve that main aim, so every application should perfectly tested, right? So for that reason, so testing is that essential part, right? So whenever whenever we are developing any software, so obviously the developer will do unit testing after develop the software. Now means how the application is working, that should checked by any developer. Okay, so as the developer or as we are make sure that our software is working perfectly fine, that means there is should that means we are maintaining some standard quality, right? So now coming to the definitions of white box testing, means in that white box testing we are basically check the application internal code or application internal structure. So whenever in white box testing is a software testing technique that is based on the application internal code structure. So we are mainly focusing on the application internal code structure. So that is called as white box testing. So in that white box testing technique, we have to test the internal structure and implementation. In that white box testing, we are mainly testing that one thing is that internal structure, and second thing is that implementation. Implementation. So internal structure mean in internally how the developer has developed their structure. We have to check that internal structure, and implementation means how an application works. Implementation means how an application works. So that is nothing but called as a white box testing. So whenever we are testing any application's internal structure implementation, then we can call it as a white box testing. Okay, so now, so white box testing, the perfect example of white box testing is that suppose I am writing in one code. Suppose let's say I am taking some input A and input B, just for an example. Okay, so I am taking one input A and B. I am I Okay, fine. So input A and B, and suppose C equals to, we can say that C equals to, let's say A plus B. So if the A value is C equals to A plus B, means we are going to add that A and B. Suppose A value, if A value is 10 and B value is 20, so C would be 10 plus 20 equals to 30. Okay, and now we are putting some, let's say some condition, like the condition is that C greater than 100. Okay, if C greater than 100, then we can print we can print the C value like so. If C greater than 100, then we can say it is a pass, or else we can say print we can say print we can like it as a fail. Okay, so I am taking two input, one is A and B. C equals to A plus B. If C greater than 100, then print is pass, otherwise print will be fail. So suppose this is some code and that is written by any developer. So what we have to test? Suppose here I am taking some condition. The condition is that suppose the condition is that I am taking some condition. Okay. So first condition, suppose we are taking some value A equals to 20 and B equals to, suppose we are taking 30. Okay, A equals to 20 and B equals to 30. And second statement is saying that A equals to, just follow me, you will in the end you will understand everything. So A equals to, let's say 60, and let's say B equals to what, let's say 70. Okay, so now we are putting that A and B value on that statement. So input A and B, C equals to A plus B. So what is the A value? A value is 20, and what is the B value? B value is 30. Means here A value is 20 plus B value is 30. Means the C value will be 50. Right? So 50 greater than 100, 50 greater than 100, no. Means it fell. Mean it fell. Right? So that is one condition, that is one statement. And next statement, what I am saying, A equals to 60, B equals to 70. So again, A plus B means 60 plus 70. So 60 plus 70, the second time it will be 130. So 130 greater than 100, yes, means print pass. So we have to check like that. So means we are checking the internal structure, we are checking the application internal code structure and the implementation. So that in this way we are going to test the white box testing process. Right? So that is the perfect example of white box testing. Okay. Now coming to the next one is that, so different company are using the different name for that white box testing. So few names are that white box testing is that. So if we can say it white box testing as like we can say it's a glass box testing. The second name we can say it's a clear box testing. And third we can say that open box testing. Or we can say like transparent box testing. Transparent box testing. So if you guys have remembered that in the black box testing we have designed, we have done some design, like in the black box testing white design we have done. Suppose this is the box and here we are putting some input. So suppose here we are putting some input and as per the input we are getting some output. So in black box testing what I have what we have discussed, so that box should be black. Means inside the box what is there we don't know, we don't have any idea. So we are putting some input and we are getting some output. That's why it's called as a black box testing. The whole box is a black. Okay, But in white box testing, suppose this is a box and we are putting some input here, we are putting some input here, and we are getting some output, right? So that box should be transparent, should be clear, should be open. Means inside the box, what is there? We can easily test that. And in white box testing, we have to test that. Inside the box, suppose inside the box some code are there. Some internal code, internal structure is there. So we have to test that application. That's why in white box testing, the box should be transparent. So that's why the different name is coming here. It's a glass box, it's a clear box, it's an open box, it's a transparent box testing. Because of this, whatever in that box, we can easily see, that. We can easily check that. We can easily test that. So that's why the the white box testing, that is the common name, or we can say the similar name is that glass box testing, clear box testing, open box testing, and transparent box testing. So if you are going for any interview and the interview is asking you that, can you please tell me what is open box testing? That means what is white box testing? So indirectly he is trying to tell you that what is white box testing. Then you have to blindly answer all the things for that white box testing. Okay. So these are the different names we are used, or the some also common names for the white box testing. Now the next one is that, what do we verify in white box testing? What what we will verify? We have to verify the security holes in the source, in the code structure. Is there is any security holes or not? We have to verify that. And also we have to test the broken or incomplete path. So testing of any broken or incomplete path. Okay, so what is broken or incomplete path, I will discuss in you later. There is some different video, different video tutorial would be there, so don't worry about that. So few we can say that few white box testing technique, few types are there. So in that type we will discuss everything, no problem. But basically in white box testing, we are going to verify that the security holes. Okay, now the broken or incomplete path we have to test. Then verify the flow structure as per the software requirement document. Okay, so as per the software requirement document, we have to verify the flow structure. So whenever we are going to develop, whenever our developer is going to develop any software, obviously they will follow some customer requirement. They will follow some software requirement. So as per the software requirement, whenever as a test engineer we are testing something, we have to follow the structure, that the structure is totally equal to the software requirement document or not. Okay, then to check the conditionally of all loops and overall functionality of the software, we have to check. We have to check that whatever expected, whatever result. So basically the testing funda is that our expected result should be equal to the actual results. Okay, if expected result is not equals to actual results, that means the test is fail. But if expected results is equal to actual results, that means test is pass. So that's why in white box testing we have to check if all the expected outcomes are met with the actual input. We have to check. And also line by line verifications of code. So every line, like here input A and B, C equals to A plus B. So every line of code we have to verify. So that we are going to verify on that white box testing. Okay, so these are the points we are gonna verify for the white box testing technique. Right. Now, how do you perform white box testing? So two things are there. One is that we have to understand the code. So whatever or which code is written by the developer, that code we have to understand. Okay, so we have to understand the code and we have to create some test cases, and then we have to execute that created test cases. Okay, so understanding the code and creating and executing the test cases, so that we are going to perform on the white box test technique. Clear? Fine. Now, the types of white box testing. So few types are there for the white box testing technique, like path testing, loop testing, conditional testing, unit testing, integration testing, mutation testing, penetration testing, testing based on memory perspective, then test performance of the program. So these are the types of white box testing. So in my upcoming video, I will discuss one by one. No problem. Don't worry about that. Okay. So in my next videos, in my coming videos, I will discuss everything with separate videos topic. Okay. So, so as of now, there are few types are there for the white box testing, like path testing, loop testing, conditional testing, unit testing, integration testing, and that's all. Okay. So these are the types of white box testing. Now coming to the next one is that techniques of white box testing. So we have to follow some technique for the white box testing. So black box testing, there are some technique, and also the white box testing is also some techniques are there, and we have to follow the technique, like statement coverage, decision coverage, branch coverage, condition coverage, multiple condition coverage, finite state machine coverage, path coverage, control flow testing, and data flow testing. So these are the testing technique for the white box testing. In my coming video, I'll discuss everything one by one. Okay, no problem. Now, these are the techniques of white box testing. Now, how or which tools we are going to use for that white box testing technique? So few tools are there, like Veracode, RC unit, N unit, ECLMA, Google test, CFIX, Emma. So these are the different tools we have to use for that white box testing. Like Veracode is for that .NET, C++, and Java framework. RC unit is for the C framework. N unit for the .NET framework. ECLMA for the Java framework. Okay, and Google test is for C++. CFIX is for C and C++. MI is for Java. So these are the different testing tools, okay, for that white box testing. Clear? Now coming to the advantages of white box testing. What is the advantage? So first advantage is that white box testing is very thorough, as the entire code and structure are tested. It is a very thorough testing, because in white box testing we are going to test the entire code, entire implementation, entire code structure. So that's why it's a very thorough testing. And second one is that it results in the optimizations of code, removing error, and helps in removing extra lines of code, as we are going to follow optimizations in our code. So if we use that optimization process, so that will helps to remove the extra lines of code. Okay, it will remove the error. So that is the most advantage of white box testing, because in white box testing we are going to test the internal code structure, internal implementation. So the results in the optimizations of code, removing the error, and it helps in removing extra lines of code. Okay. Now coming to the next one is that it can start in early stages, as it doesn't require any interface, as in case of black box testing. So black box testing, in black box testing, what we are going to check? In black box testing, we will check how the application is working. So we will give some input, and whatever input we are putting, we will get some output based upon that input. Means we don't need to check any internal code structure, any implementation for that black box testing. So that's why it's a late stage, I mean late testing process. But in the white box testing, as we are going to test the internal implementation, internal code structure, so that's why we can start an early stage. Okay, because for that white box testing, we doesn't require any type of interface. So as we are going to test the coding purpose, we are going to test the internal code structure. We don't need any kinds of interfaces. That's why we can start that white box testing as early stage of testing process. Okay. And also next one is that we can easily automate that white box testing process. So easy to automate. Now, next one is that white box testing can be easily started in software development lifecycle. Obviously, because as we are as we are testing at early stage of software development, so as we are start an early stage, so that's why white box testing can easily started in the SDLC lifecycle. Okay. So if you guys have remember that SDLC life cycle, so you can easily understand that why that white box testing can easily started on the software development life cycle. If you guys have not seen my SDLC life cycle video, so you can check my video playlist, or otherwise I will give that video link in my description. This video description you can follow from here also, no problem. And also the easy code optimization. So the code is optimized in that white box testing. So easy code optimization process is also there. So these are the advantages of white box testing. Okay. Now coming to the next one is that disadvantages of white box testing. So main disadvantage is that it's very expensive. Why it is very expensive? Because we are going some different tool for that white box testing. So as we are going to different tool here, so this tool may be some licensed, so we have to purchase the tool, we have to pay some money for that. Okay. And obviously as we are going to test internal code structure, and it is very easy for automation, we can process, we can automate that white box testing, so need some extra resource. So that's why the main disadvantage is that it's a very expensive. Okay. The second one is that redesign of code and rewriting the code need test cases to be to be written again. So suppose we have given some, we have written some test cases. Okay. And now the code has been changed. So as the design of code or as we are changes some design of code, we are rewrite some code, as we are follow this type of redesign and rewriting, so obviously we have to again change our test cases also. It's a time consuming process, right? Now testers are required to have depth in knowledge of code and programming language. So in my black box testing video I told you guys no need for any type of programming knowledge for that black box testing, but in white box testing we need a deep knowledge of code, or deep knowledge of programming language. So without programming knowledge, without in-depth knowledge of code, we cannot test white box testing technique. Okay. So testers are required to have in-depth knowledge of the code and programming knowledge, programming language. Okay. And the next one is that missing functionalities cannot be detected as the code that exists is tested. So missing functionality we cannot detect it, as it is the early stage of testing. So we cannot detect it, the missing functionality, and it's very complex and at times non-realistic, and also much more chances of error in production. So if you are not a good, I mean, if you don't have any good programming knowledge or in-depth knowledge of code, okay, then much more chances of errors in the production. So production means whenever you have deployed your code, whenever you are deployed your software in the live environment. Okay. So much more chances of error in production. So we have to follow that. So these are the disadvantage of white box testing. So white box testing, basically we have to test the applications internal structure and implementation. We're going to test for that white box testing. So now guys, I think you have much more clear about that what is white box testing and what we have to test in that white box testing. Okay. So if you have any doubt, so please comment me. And if you guys like my video, one thumbs up and subscribe to my channel EduPaat and clicking on the bell icon, so that guys you will get my videos update notifications first, and obviously share this channel to your nearest friend. Okay, so see you in the next videos with some interesting topics of software testing. Thank you.